Good afternoon, everyone. Mary Sloan here with another episode of Inspirational Influencer News, People Making a Difference. And my guest this afternoon, Lydia Sugarman, is in fact someone who is truly making a difference. I mean, after all, don't we all have way too many business apps? And doesn't it drive you crazy when, oh my gosh, now I have to learn something else and something new? And is this better? And does this work? And I mean, and really, what do we want? We want to have somewhere to put a website, and we want to have somewhere to track who we are connecting with. So, Lydia has been working on this for a long time. And this is an accomplished person. She has skied the Alps. Hey, I almost got there, but I was there for the wrong season. Climbed the Great Wall, raced in outlaw bike messenger races. I'm not sure I'd be ready for that. In New York, mounted art exhibitions in Moscow and New York. And she now lives in San Francisco and provides a complete, customizable CRM solution to build, manage, and grow your business. So, Lydia, what is it that inspired you to help us get rid of all these millions of crazy business apps?
Mary, thank you. First, thank you so much for having me on your show. This is really fun. And it goes back actually more than 20 years. It started as an email marketing app, and it just grew organically from that. We started adding CRM tools in early 2003, and just grew as a result of suggestions and requests from customers and ideas internally. So now it's all the tool. It replaces all of those tools, all of those stacks. It eliminates having for larger companies, building marketing stack, sales stack, customer success stack, and as my hashtag says, silos kill. It kills they kill collaboration, communication, cooperation, and worst of all, opportunities get lost, and you leave money not only on the table, you leave money on the floor. So Venntive fixes all of that.
And so, how does it fix it?
Well, you set up one account and you customize it and to suit your business. And that again is made easy because it's no code customization. There's a lot of
Oh, you're talking my language. I like no code.
right. You don't, yeah. It's no code customization, and you set up your groups, you bring in your databases, and you start emailing, you start texting, you start setting up activities, sales pipelines. You can have websites or landing pages for each group. And because you can have unlimited groups, you can have a new landing page for every new marketing campaign you do, for example. And we provide all of the tracking, so you know exactly who's doing what where.
That including the tracking is really amazing because, trying to link up, oh my God, get the Facebook Pixel and the Google Pixel or whatever they use and whatever they call it. I mean, all these data apps. I mean, that is a whole other world, right?
Yeah. Well, having databases scattered across multiple apps is also problematic. And everybody says, "Oh, it's easy. We do one thing really well." Well, that's fine until you need 10 or 15 or 20 of those single point solutions to build and grow and manage your business. Um, so you have your database in one place. You mentioned Facebook pixel, you can actually build ads in Venntive and copy and paste the code into Facebook or LinkedIn, wherever, and you get your own tracking in Venntive.
Wow, that's amazing because, just to get comfortable with one platform because, you're running over to Facebook and trying to figure out what's the Facebook platform. And then, oh, well, let's go do some LinkedIn ads. Oh, that's completely different. And then let's do some Google ads. And oh, that's completely different again. So, I mean, really,
Yeah,
it's hard for us business people.
it is. And now we're looking at, third-party cookies being done away with. So you, with a couple of settings, everything that comes from your Venntive account is a first-party cookie with your domain.
Oh, wow. That's great. So, I mean, because they seem to be intent on bringing in the European standard. I mean, that's been what they've had for a while, but they seem intent on bringing it into us here in America. So, it's good to know that you've already got a workaround.
Right. And we are GDPR compliant, CAN spam compliant with every regulation in every country and state. We're California based, so yeah, California has its own privacy laws. So we help you. We help you stay. Uh, we help protect you in that you're going to always be compliant with all the regulations that are being imposed.
Well, I love that you are kind of working with us on the compliance issue because so many platforms, they'll give you their platform, but you have to know all the regulations and you have to know all the code laws and you have to know all this and all that. It's really hard.
Well, most established applications will be have compliance built in. Not all of them. You can't make any assumptions. It's like uh, you you want to believe that when you put your data in an application that it's safe and secure and protected from being hacked, being stolen. But we saw in the news just 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was a very large crypto company. Well, there was a crypto company with a very large database, over 1 million records, and they were stolen by an employee of the email marketing app they were using, customer.io.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, kind of a la Edward Snowden, um, and of course you do everything you can to ensure that your employees are trustworthy, but they didn't have any safeguards built in. So at Venntive, nobody can export a list without permission from the account owner. No one. Not not the customer employees, not the Venntive teams, without getting permission from the account owner.
Well, it's almost like things have gotten so big and so out of control. And I always find it very interesting when in the crypto space, and I'm no genius when it comes to crypto, but the thing that I've always heard them say is, but it's the blockchain that makes the difference. Like the cryptocurrencies aren't the
Right.
story here. It's the blockchain. And then you hear stories about how, oh, well, they just went in and they, took this snippet of the blockchain out and they put in their snippet of blockchain. And now instead of going to you, it was going to them. I mean, like, how does that happen if blockchain's so
I don't
absolutely safe?
I can't say. I mean, there's it's I mean, it's beyond wild wide. The crypto space is beyond the wild west, and cryptocurrencies, tokens, and all of that. Blockchain, blockchain as a convention is a programming convention, and it should be secure. I don't know but there's a lot of very, very sophisticated hackers out there that, that's all they do all day long is figure out how to break in. If anything, I think blockchain is more secure than other uh, program programming languages, if you will. Uh, there is, there is a level of privacy. There is a level of security in there that isn't necessarily present in others. But I, I'm getting out of, I'm getting into territory that I'm really not knowledgeable about.
Well, I think it's really easy. And I think that the thing is that even the people who think they're knowledgeable are actually in territory where they're not totally knowledgeable. And it comes back to bite them, and it comes back to bite their clients. And I mean, man, I have no idea. How does something go from, I don't know, $69,000 for a single Bitcoin down to, I think it was less than 20,000 this week? And, but not very long ago, really not very long ago, it was, well under 10,000. I mean, these swings, man, talk about seasick.
It's hovering around 23,000 right now. And yeah, it went up 67, 69,000. That was exciting. But it's a currency. It fluctuates. People speculate. So it almost more quickly than anything else, than for any foreign exchange trades. If there's a big sale or a big buy, then the price fluctuates dramatically. But look at the dollar. We hit parity with the euro earlier this week. In fact, it was 99 cents. The euro was 99 cents. It wasn't even
Yeah, and it's never been that. And I mean, I remember back in the day when we were going to Europe. I mean, I think it was sort of like $5 per euro, and then it went down dramatically to 250, and now parity. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. I have more confidence in Bitcoin than I do certain currencies.
Well, there are definitely currencies I'd have more confidence in Bitcoin, and I have zero confidence in Bitcoin. But there's a lot of currencies out there,
Well,
I mean,
I just wonder. I mean, we printed so much money during the pandemic. I mean, there's nothing backing the dollar anymore other than our word.
yeah, good faith and goodwill, And I mean, anybody who thinks there's anything backing any of these dollars beyond that is kidding themselves. But let's not go there. We'll end this currency conversation.
Thank you, Reagan. Wasn't it Reagan that took us off the gold standard?
Yeah. But they played around with it. I think they played around with it in the Great Depression, and it was on and it was off, and then they put it on again, and then they took it off, and I mean, it did back it by something, and an adjustment to the backing. Maybe it shouldn't be $50 dollars. Maybe it should have been $150, and you'd have had more room. I don't know, but anyway, let's talk about Venntive. I think both of us are more in our comfort zone here. We're really stretching.
We can talk about all kinds of things. Yeah, try. It's sometimes, I mean, when I've talked to solo entrepreneurs, they will sometimes say, "Oh, this is overwhelming," and I think instead of overwhelming, they really mean that there's so much there. It's there for when you need it, but it is not overwhelming to use because it's been built to work together. So the user interface is seamless and it looks the same all the way across the platform. So quickly becomes very familiar feeling. And
Well, and that's really the great thing. I mean, and why I found it so interesting was to get rid of all these business apps. Because what's really hard is, first of all, to get all these business apps smoothly talking to one another.
oh,
Then, of course, remembering your password, not having the password suddenly fail on you. And I've got a password saver, as does everybody now. But it maybe it saved it differently this time, or whatever. And all of a sudden it's changed again. So it's really nice to think that, oh, good, I can come into this one platform and actually do what I need. I can have my website here. I can have it hooked up to, what I would call an autoresponder as well as a CRM, because, they behave differently, but it's nice to know that they're both there, and, that you can, really have, the type of
right.
functionality that people pay a fortune for with things like, um, what's the big one, the CRM that,
Salesforce.
Salesforce. Oh, it's a bad word, sorry.
No, I'm, I mean, yeah, we compete with Salesforce, we compete with HubSpot, we compete with all of these other applications. And yeah, you've got when you're working with a lot of different apps, you have all those different passwords, but you've also got all different user interfaces. So you have to remember how to use that application and the terminology that they use. So it it's just easier when it's in one place, regardless of whether you're one person or 1,000 people. You know, having consistency is a good thing.
Consistency is a good thing, and not having to have three tech people on your team just to kind of keep people functioning is also a good thing,
Exactly.
because it gets really crazy.
Yeah, it can. It's easy to customize, update, add people, remove people from access, uh, and get them trained, uh, and use the tools. I mean, yeah, it's there. Like everything else, there is a learning process, you know, and a learning
Of
curve.
course, there's always a learning curve. I mean,
And whenever you're if you're really serious about really using a CRM system, there's a lot of heavy lifting on the front end that uh, often people don't think about until they're ready to uh, sign the deal. You've got to know your processes and systems. That's something that you have to do on paper or on a whiteboard, and really think about how you work.
so
And
is that something you've got people on staff who can help people kind of get themselves set
yeah,
up to do a transfer?
yeah, I mean, that's part of discovery, is really spending time in before anything else, talking about, well, how does marketing, if we're going to how does marketing relate to sales, relate to customer success? There are discussions, customer success should come in and should get involved earlier. Sales should get involved earlier in marketing, and marketing should have a better understanding of what sales does. Do SDRs are SDRs under sales, or are they under marketing? There are all these there. I mean, And yeah, this is you might say this is something that teams talk about, but it's also something for solo entrepreneurs to think about, because I think we a lot of us go into business for ourselves with the idea of growing the business and adding people, and but without thinking about what that looks like.
Oh,
And
absolutely. Why would we think about that?
so, processes and systems, that's what you have to think about, and it's a lot of questions to ask and answer. It's hard work, but that's how you can have a successful implementation and ongoing adoption of the technology, in addition to having buy-in from the top down and the bottom up, in an organization. If it only takes one or two people to say, well, I'm not going to use it. I'm going to do it the old way. And it's like, well, this is the way we're doing it now. And we really want you to get on board.
Well, and it's easier, I am sure, when getting on board means getting on board with one thing, not getting on board with you have to learn this thing and you have to learn this thing and you have to learn this thing and you have to learn that thing.
Oh,
And because I know I've got things scattered and oh, I know how to use this, but how does this interact with that? Oh, well, maybe I don't know. Who can I ask? Like how
well, I mean, we do, even though we're really the most complete. Okay, I'm going to use a buzzword now, buzz term is RevOps. We're the most complete RevOps platform on the market. Uh, I have I have experienced instances where one or two people in a new account have torpedoed the entire project for 20 people because they just refuse to adopt.
so
And
what's a RevOp? Let's start.
revenue operations is a term for uh, a person or a methodology for bringing sales, marketing, customer success, customer support, and operations and finance all together, so that are they're all talking to each other and collaborating. Because the bottom line is the bottom line. The C-suite only cares about one thing, really. At the end of the day, it's the bottom line.
Right.
So they are charged with bridging those silos of marketing and sales and operations and customer success. And the abbreviation is RevOps. Um, People are still feeling their way around where they fit in the structure, in the corporate structure. Uh, but that's what revenue operations is. And
Yeah, well, you can sort of understand it because as a solo person, you know, I go from marketing to sales in a single conversation, and I try not to make it salesy. So it's sort of like, um, are you interested in moving forward with this? Do you want this in your life? Those kind of things. But I'm one person. And would the conversation flow as easily and be as smooth if I had to pass it off to somebody and say, "Oh, I'm about to step out of my, out of my comfort zone or my
right.
bailiwick. This isn't where I'm supposed to be." It would be weird. I'm sorry, but because I've been a solo operator for a long time, I just transition without
Right.
and hope that people don't even notice that there's a transition,
Well, they
that it feels totally comfortable. So I'm like passing it off to
they
somebody, that would be weird.
they probably don't. But one thing, so okay, so I've mentioned customer success a few times, and as solo operators, we don't always think about that, because we're supporting that customer through the entire relationship, the entire customer relationship, but we don't always think about what that looks like. For example, with I realized the other day, I was talking to somebody who is an SEO expert, or and they part of their and
And just for the people like me who sort of hate acronyms,
I'm sorry.
IHA club. I hate acronyms club. You can join it.
Oh, so
SEO is search engine optimization. And, everybody with a website wants to be search engine optimized so that Google will come and find you and bring you customers.
it's so hard. It's so hard, and it's a constantly moving target. And because of that, and because you're probably not going to see results in less than 6 months, to be really realistic, they build into their contract, their letter of engagement, uh, required monthly call to talk to, where they talk with the client and have, you know, a conversation about, this is where we are, this is what we've done, these are the results, this is what, this is what we're expecting, but also what are your expectations, what's changed on your end, so that there's a strong relationship. There's, building that customer relationship. And I realized, that's something that I hadn't actually built in to our client agreement or our client engagement. And that's something that, and because CRM has a great reputation for failing. CRM projects fail for a lot of reasons, but one of those reasons is that we may not communicate on an ongoing basis with our customers adequately to make sure that they're happy and they feel taken care of.
Well, and happiness and taken care of and seeing results. I mean, I know I worked a little, with two different types of small companies, one being restaurants and another being gyms. Restaurants, when I got them leads, it was easy. No restaurant failed to convert their their leads, because the customer showed up with something that had them wanting to buy a meal,
Right.
$5 off coupon, 25% off, etc. But on the gym side of things sometimes went a little bit off the rails because they would get a coupon, and the gym, of course, wanted to sell them either a long package or a couple of years experience of coming to the gym on a regular basis. And they didn't have like a 50% off coupon for a 5-year deal. They had a 50% off coupon for a visit to the gym.
Right.
And, so they got to go in, or they had, 5 free visits or whatever it was. And so they got to go in. But then if the sales team didn't convert them, it was a problem. So, and then of course they didn't want to buy more leads. Well, it wasn't my leads. The leads got there,
I think,
complete with their coupon.
I mean,
Nobody had a sales process to pick it
yeah,
up and go, okay, this person is going to come in for 5 experiences because that's what they've got for free. Of course, they're going to show up. And we've got to make sure that we make it so amazing that they never want to leave us and they want more of the same. But that didn't always, that didn't always convert. So I can only imagine how the conversations go.
you know, I, hey, I took advantage of those 3 visits for free a lot of times. And I knew that I was going to have to sit in the little room with the salesperson and listen to the pitch and, just get through that. Um, and I'm thinking, I don't ever recall a gym ever giving uh, 50% off the first month. And going to gym and working out is you've got to create the habit. I don't think their offer was right.
Yeah, well, and that's really the trick, right? I mean, like I said, it just didn't happen with the restaurant. They bought a meal. And restaurants are notorious about worrying about the first visit,
Right.
and the number of conversations about, lifetime value. Wow, that went over most of their heads. But anyway, but, for the gyms, they had a hard time figuring out how to convert and what they wanted to convert to and what their process was. And
Well, it was, yeah, between the salespeople in their little offices and the random trainers wandering around the floor offering to help you learn how to use a machine, which
yeah,
was really creepy. Uh, you know, that yeah, that was enough to. Although, I mean, I haven't belonged to a gym in a long time, but just thinking about it, yeah, the 3 day or 5 day, the week or 3 days or whatever, that really isn't a, the right offer to establish that habit.
no, it isn't. It isn't. Anyway, we have actually come to the end of our talk. And I want people to know how to get hold of you so they can go see how to put all this mumbo jumbo together in one place so it doesn't happen to them.
Well, uh, hit me up on LinkedIn. It's real easy. I'm Lydia Sugarman on LinkedIn. It's linkedin.com/in/Lydia Sugarman, and DM me and we'll schedule a conversation. And I say conversation. I'm not gonna pitch slap you. It's not hard sell. It's more, I want to I want to we want to be the right fit for our customers. And I realize we're not necessarily the right fit for everybody, but we're the right fit for a lot of people.
Well, and what I really liked about, my experience with talking to you and having you show me around Venntive was the fact that I got a lot of experiences, so I felt like, oh, look, this is pretty cool. Oh, look, they've got ways for me to read and understand what happened here and what happened there. So, I really have to say I like the platform a, a lot. And yes, I do need to spend some time and go in there and work it all out because, transferring everything over, et cetera, et cetera. But
We
no,
make that as easy. We make that as easy as possible, and we're always here to help you with that. And yes, there's lots of help tools, and you know, there's a 14-day free trial where you have access to almost 100% of Ventive. The other thing there are so many important things about Ventive. Number one, every account gets every feature. Just because you're a little guy and you're starting out at the entry level account, you're not giving up functionality. You're not giving up features. Uh,
that's so good.
yeah. And the other thing is security is highest priority. Uh, so I hope to hear from you guys, from everyone. And if nothing else, it's I get to meet new people and have new conversations. We can
And
talk recipes if we don't talk CRM.
and just have a great conversation.
Yeah,
Anyway, Lydia, thank you so much for coming in. And I hope people come and find you on LinkedIn. And I'd love to see your business grow. I think it's a great platform.
me too. Thank you so much, Mary.